What's up, UFC Undisputed fans? This is THQ Tank, your official UFC Undisputed community manager, and I'm here once again with senior lead designer of UFC Undisputed 3, Wes Bunn. What's going on, man?
Just hanging out, man. Getting back from E3. Ready to get to work on UFC 3 here.
Sweet. What? Just give us like a quick high-level status update on, maybe just some of the things you're working on UFC Undisputed 3 right now without getting into too much detail.
Pretty much, I'm touching pretty much every area these days. So, yeah, I've been on UFC, this franchise, since the beginning. I was the initial designer on UFC 2009 and been on it ever since. So, yeah, I'm working on modes, working on combat, working on online, working on pretty much everything at this point.
Sweet. Me too. in a different kind of way.
I wear many hats.
Yeah, exactly. We all do around here. So UFC fans out there, as you know, we have committed to you guys to doing a developer Q&A series as much as we can, taking your community questions and answering everything that we possibly can right now about UFC Undisputed 3. This week we actually focused on our official Facebook page, which is facebook.com/UFC Undisputed. Took a bunch of questions and I've got them all right here if you guys can see them. And we're going to go through and Wes is going to see what kind of new details he can review. So,
let's do it.
First one up. I'm sure this is an easy one. Nico's Destruction Z asks when the roster is going to be revealed. Can you tell us the date and time?
The actual date and the actual time, right down to the very second. Well, I can tell you that we have over 150 fighters this year. So pretty much anybody that's in the UFC that you can think of is going to be in our game. So the actual full roster detail is something that we like to do with our marketing team. We work with our partners and stuff. So that's probably going to come within the next month or two, maybe. But yeah, that's something that I would keep an eye out for, the actual unveiling of the roster, something that we want to do a little bit down the road. So I can't disclose the actual time because I don't even know. So I just know that we have
I might know a little more than Wes.
We have 150 guys. Yeah, I know you guys want to know who's in the game. Pretty much anybody that's on the UFC roster these days is in the game.
We could theoretically do one per day.
Pretty much, yeah.
Well, as you know, guys, the roster reveal is a big part of our strategic plans, if you will, hidden under lock and key. We'll have more details about that in the coming weeks and months. Second question coming up from Billy Pierce asks, will there be body shot TKOs?
Yes, actually there will be body shot TKOs this year. So yeah, you have the ability to work your head, cause head damage, knock the guy down, rock him, and then finish a TKO there. We do have body shot TKOs as well. Delivering enough damage to the body will eventually cause your opponent to enter the rock state or clutch his body and fall over. Continuing to attack the body will result in a TKO. And we've mentioned before that this year we have leg kick TKO. So doing enough damage to the legs will cause your opponent to slow down. Their ability to shoot for takedowns will be decreased. Also, the damage that they do with those leg attacks will be decreased as well. So if you kick the legs of a strong kickboxer, for example, the damage that he does with those legs is going to be reduced. So you have head, you have body, you have legs. So there's 3 levels that you got to worry about this year. We think it's going to add a lot to the gameplay and give players more of an opportunity to mix up where they're attacking their opponents.
Of course, we have Finish the Fight, which, when your guy's just laying down there, you can give him quite a few body shots.
Yeah, I think that's a good segue into one of these other questions. I believe that was one of the questions asking if that was going to be possible.
We'll come back to that.
Sweet. All right.
So Kevin McCurley asks, in Pride mode, will you be able to do soccer kicks and head stomps at any time while an opponent is grounded?
Providing that your opponent's in the situation to perform those actions, yes. You won't have to necessarily rock the opponent to perform those Pride-specific moves. We didn't want players to get into Pride and then only have the ability to perform these signature moves that are available in Pride in distinct situations. So when you're in a position like up-down, when you're in a position like sprawl, north-south, side control, backside control, you'll be able to throw knees to the head, foot stomps from up-down, and soccer kicks on failed takedown attempts. But there are some special attacks that are done from the rocked position. For example, if you're in the sprawl position and you're on top and you rock the guy, then you can kind of posture up and throw a soccer kick to his face and then stomp on his face and all that good stuff.
We had this random idea. I don't know if we'll go with it, but we thought it'd be funny to make a Flash app that was called Soccer Kick Your Friend in the Face and send it to a friend. So we'll see if that comes out. Kyle Larkins asks, are we adding any new submissions like a standing rear naked choke or the twister?
We're always looking to expand on our move set. Each year we add new submissions, and that's going to happen again this year. So I'm happy to say that you will have the standing rear naked choke, standing guillotine. We even have flying scissor heel hooks too, which are really cool. Those are a lot of fun to pull those off. So there's a ton of new moves, ton of new transitions, ton of new throws, ton of new strikes. Each year we're expanding our move set. So yeah.
And of course, as we reveal more info, you will learn more about those on our official website, UFCundisputed.com. I'll be tossing that out there a few more times. Martin Bishop, cool name. Will it be more realistic when a fighter gets KO'd instead of them falling over to the side? And will we be able to pounce on them in different positions and keep hitting until the ref pulls you off instead of just standing over them until it's over? Damn, Martin. Damn.
Very detailed.
Yeah,
very detailed.
Quite the aggressive person over there.
Yeah.
I hope we don't ever meet each other. Just kidding.
Meet you in a dark alley.
Yeah.
So that you kind of touched on it a little bit. This new system that we've added this year, we've called it Finish the Fight. That is something that we looked at from 2010. 2009, you could kind of do it a little bit. 2010, we kind of pulled it back. It's returning and revamped for UFC 3 with a whole new dynamic to it. So we redid all the knockout animations this year again. We weren't happy with the ones that we had last year. The ones that we have this year are much more realistic. When a fighter is knocked out, they'll enter a ragdoll state, collapse on the ground, stay in ragdoll, and while they're in that state, this new system that we have allows you to get on top of the opponent and finish striking until the ref actually comes in and will physically pull you off. It's a really cool system and blending system that we're using in the animations, because you can also get into situations where if a guy falls face first on the ground, even though he's ragdoll, you can still get on top of him, throw the hooks in, and then continue throwing punches from the back. It's pretty sick.
That's awesome. In a weird kind of way, I told people this. It reminds me of like the old school ambulance at the end of like Madden 92, where the guys would just get run over, or NFL Blitz, of course, where you could just pummel guys. I know that's not really a fair comparison.
The cool thing about it is
it's
it's totally optional too. You don't have to. I mean, you can go and stand over on top of them and act like you're going to punch. You can not go on top of them. It's totally up to the player. Once a fighter is knocked out, you'll have the opportunity to choose what you want to do.
Kind of like you can decide to touch fist at the beginning of the match.
Yep.
Cool.
Exactly.
Very cool. Nick Vassallo asks, will the new game have the health stats of the fighters after the match? I really like seeing how much damage I caused my opponent, and this feature is only available in the title mode for UFC Undisputed 2010.
Actually, yeah, we looked at that too. We noticed that the fans kind of like that additional information to see how you did in a fight, and we wanted to present that in more areas. So after every fight, in-game, whether it's in exhibition, online tournament, career, after every fight, you'll see this stat breakdown of how many strikes you thrown, how many were landed, how much damage you did to each individual part, the number of times you were rocked, successful transitions. A whole bunch of stats will be available to you after every fight.
I know, for comparison's sake, fightmetric.com is probably similar to what you guys would see there, and especially when I've seen a lot of matches, the head looks quite red in your matches.
In my matches, the leg looks quite red, too.
Awesome, man, awesome. A couple more questions here. Saren, I apologize, cannot pronounce the middle name, Mehmet. Will jabs and non-power strikes be more effective to set up combos?
Actually, yeah, that goes back to reworking the striking game for UFC 3, that we wanted to make what we call our quick strikes more effective. That's your non-technique and your non-strong strikes, where you're holding the left stick towards the opponent. So your standard face buttons are going to be your quick strikes. Those are your jabs, your quick kicks. Those, again, have the ability to interrupt strong strikes. So a quick strike will throw off the trajectory of a strong strike that your opponent throws. They're also easier to set up combinations. So if you do a quick strike to a strong strike, or quick strike to a technique strike, it's going to flow a lot better than trying to throw two strong strikes in a row, or a technique and a strong strike. So it's going to be interesting to see how players pick it up and play with the new changes that we've made to the system, mixing in quick strikes and strong strikes.
And I know some of the core testers that we've had here, they've been specifically commenting how much they enjoyed the jab is a lot more meaningful this time around.
Yeah, again, because it's a quick strike and it interrupts those strong strikes. As you pump the quick strike out there, that jab, it's going to throw off your opponent who's just coming in there and just throwing strong strikes, trying to knock you out. So
that would be me. So last question here, Wes. James Clifford asked one of the most important questions the community has been wondering up to this point. He says, will stat decay be removed from career mode?
Well, yeah, we've been talking a lot about combat here recently. We will delve more into the modes and career mode specifically as we continue to do these and take your questions. Any questions you have regarding career mode or any of the other modes, please feel free to send them to this guy at 3 o'clock in the morning, so he'll get it. I can say at this point that we've looked at what fans liked in UFC 2010, in 2010's career mode and UFC 2009's career mode, and we went back to the drawing board. The information that I can give right now is that yes, stat decay will be removed, and the focus for this year's career mode was to get you back into the action as quick as possible. We felt there was a lot of management in the past two iterations of UFC's career mode, so we'll be releasing more information on that in the future. And yeah, stat decay is gone.
Stat decay is gone. Confirm. Sound the alarms. All right, Wes. Well, we thank you once again for your time in our developer Q&A, community Q&A session number 2. For more info on UFC Undisputed, you guys know you can always visit our official website at UFCundisputed.com. Hit us up on Facebook at facebook.com/UFC Undisputed or twitter.com/UFC_undisputed. That's all from THQ Tank here with senior designer Wes Bung. We thank you once again.
My pleasure, man. My pleasure.
See you next time.